Dirt roads to rock crawling, two-buck chuck to screaming eagle, moonshine to 50-year-old single malt. We talk about it all here on Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey with your hosts, Jason and Chris.
Welcome to Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey, episode 148 here in the home studio with Chris, Lorenzo, and a special guest.
Oh my God!
How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing pretty good. You?
I'm doing okay. I'm alive and well.
Well, we established that last episode.
I know, but I'm like still alive. That's a good thing.
Well, it is good. You know, you're still looking like somebody attacked you, but you know
it does. It looks like I got in a knife fight or a gunfight with a knife. I don't know.
How's the surgeon look?
Not very good. So we are here tonight. This is totally unorthodox. I never thought we'd do this podcast.
I know.
Actually,
when you suggested it to me, I was like, "What?"
There was an awkward silence on the phone. I was like, Chris, you still there, Chris?
Well, I think Lorenzo was. You know, he was probably looking at you cross-eyed too.
He didn't know either, and he was shaking his head. But we got this is the Golf Cart Podcast right now.
Oh no,
Golf Cart Podcast.
I know, side by sides. What's
I know.
up with that?
I know. So we got a guest in studio that has a side by side that raced at 2022 KOH.
What's that?
What do you mean? Was that you were there? What do you mean? What's that?
I don't remember anything.
Okay. Well, that explains a lot right there. And then his co-driver, who I can't remember his name. I'm trying to remember his name. Is here on the podcast. So we got Jay Barry in studio. Jason Barry, welcome to the podcast, Jay Barry.
Gentlemen.
How you doing? Well, that's a far stretch of the word. Yes.
Where?
Yeah. And then your co-driver, it starts with a
Can't remember his name. Starts with a T
something.
and with an Obi or
we
something.
talked about him before.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Is he online? Is he here? Is he here?
Oh, hello. Yes. I'm
okay.
Here. We actually met Jason a few years ago.
Can you state your name and pronounce your? How do you
Mother's
spell your
name?
Name, rank,
My
and
name's
serial
Toby.
Toby. Toby. Okay.
We met before, actually. You'd be amazed.
Wow.
So this is the actual Toby that we joked around on the podcast of Toby, the co-driver, Toby.
And let's be clear, there's lots of truth behind the joking, too.
Yes, there is. There absolutely is. What was his name? Oh, so good. Anyways, welcome Jay Barry and Toby to the podcast, and this is the Golf Cart Podcast. We
Just
have
sold your soul.
We have stooped to all new lows, and just you caught us at a weak moment. And
Next
you said, "Hey, can we?"
Toyota's on it.
Can we, yeah, exactly. This is if we go there, it's just shut this thing down.
What do these guys drive for dailies?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh wait, somebody drives a Toyota. I know for sure.
Actually, I drive a Ford daily.
Oh, he does have a Ford daily for his company car. What do you drive, Toby, for your daily?
I drive a Tundra.
Oh, shit.
Toyota Tundra. Here we go.
Hey, in his defense, it's supercharged.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's supercharged?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. That's pretty good.
Supercharged and geared.
Okay.
It booties.
Yeah, you don't F around.
All right. Well, that's
All right, so let's
legit.
get into this because there's a lot of good stuff here.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of good stories, and I'm not sure where to start, but other than the beginning. Let's start at the beginning. So, Jay, you were born in
a 66
Let's not go that far back.
Wait, no, that's a funny story. I was literally born in the front seat of a 66 Impala.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Fun
Not in the
fact.
hospital?
No, on the way, literally in the middle of the fucking street. It's probably conceived in the back seat.
That pretty much explains a lot right there.
I haven't waited for a thing in my entire damn life.
The crowd loves it. Okay, so
Carry on.
that was a little too far back, but that's good shit. Okay,
It's like we're looking at the Big Bang Theory or something here.
I don't know.
Okay, Sheldon.
All right, so let's fast forward like 20 years. You get into side-by-sides. How did that all happen? How do we get to where we're at now, racing Ultra 4 2022?
How fast?
Because that's crazy, because that's like the ultimate in off-road racing. And somehow, the more you know. And somehow you and Toby met and culminated to this race. So let's just go.
Yeah, there's
done
probably
talking.
2 parts of this story.
I'm not talking anymore.
I'm sure Toby
I
can
will
tell
not
his
talk
piece.
anymore.
Well, you're still talking.
I'm not talking. No, I'll be quiet now.
Drink some water.
Not talking. I'm not talking. Okay.
You good there?
I'm good. My mic keeps falling away, though. Something's fucked up with this mic. Chris, you gave me a bad mic thing here.
Dude, really?
Yeah, it keeps.
Is this the
it's
part
like
that gets
lip
edited
dick.
out?
God, I
Okay.
hope so.
All right. Go ahead. I'm going to stop talking now. Go ahead, Jay. I'm done.
So I met Toby in 2020. Is that right? 2020.
Oh God. Yes.
22.
I think.
20.
One of
So
those.
yeah. So it was 2020. Amber, you know Amber.
Yep.
Amber asked me to be her parts runner for KOH in 20.
Okay.
And then Amber put me and Toby together because he ran. When did you run? 18 or 19? You ran.
18.
So Toby ran in 18.
What do you mean ran? What did
He
he
raced.
do?
He raced hammers in 18.
In a side
Like
by side.
driver, side by side?
He was a driver
Right
in his
seat?
48,
45.
4500. Sorry.
Really?
4,500.
Yeah, he had a Land Cruiser that was slow as.
Oh, I didn't know
no
I didn't know
shit.
your roots reached that deep, Toby.
Wow.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Shit.
Anyways, Jason can continue his portion. I'll just
Okay.
fill in
Okay.
my
All
side
right.
later.
All right. That's impressive.
So he ran, and he was a giant source of information for Amber, to the point where you'd wake up in the morning and you get 47 text messages from Toby because he doesn't sleep at night. It's weird. And so Amber put me and Toby together for parts running because he knew the course and how I could run from pit to pit to pit.
Okay.
And I'm kind of a special kind of stupid when I drive.
Special kind of stupid. Okay.
And it's the first person I've ever had in the right seat that didn't try to rip the old shit handle off.
Right.
Or tell me I'm driving too fast.
Right.
And we were just driving.
Simpatico.
Yeah. And it was a good mesh, and we got along great. And he's like a rocket surgeon or something for real life, and so he's a smart person in general. And
Never
we
seen
got
him
along.
operate on a rocket before.
A rocket.
Well, and Toby, he literally designs parts that go into fucking outer
Nice.
space or something.
Really?
I believe.
So that's a scientist.
Nice.
Rocket.
No, not scientist. Those people don't usually build things. Anyways,
Oh.
go on, Jason.
Okay.
So, anyways, we got along great. Great right seat person, and we just drove.
Right.
And then 2021, I co-drove for Amber in 4600. And I realized I'm not that great of a co-driver, to be honest. Okay, so we're at Sand Hollow, and Toby brought his Can-Am out. And we were sitting at the lake, and I, for lack of a better words, I really had to pee, but there's kids around and like all this stuff, so I couldn't just like pee like I normally would beside the car. And I just told Toby, I'm like, hey, I'm going to take your Can-Am back up to camp because I
Yeah.
pee. And so I took off in it, and it's the first time I've driven a side-by-side. And
But that's your not normal side by side. It's not a stock side by side that you drove.
No, it's not a stock. He's done some work to it.
But
Fairly
it's
well
mostly
equipped.
stock.
It's mostly
Yeah.
stock. It's a 72.
Except
yeah.
for the suspension.
So I went to the bathroom and then decided like, well, they're just sitting there. I'm gonna go drive this thing. And I came back to where we were all sitting by the lake, and I had fucking tears in my eyes. I was so happy. I've never been in tune with something.
Right.
Well, when you really have to take a piss, that can bring.
Yeah.
No, like afterwards. This was afterwards.
Oh, okay.
But nonetheless, I came back and I was just so happy because, like, I was just in tune with the vehicle. It was an extension. Never mind. It was an extension of me. It was great.
Right.
And came back, and Toby was like, "Bro, are you okay?" Well, you say it, bro. He says it. And I was just like, I just really like it. He's like, we go for a real fun run, and I don't know, Toby, how do you remember it?
Yeah, no, he said, it was a good time. I said, well, let's go for a longer drive and actually go through, the whoops. And there's kind of a normal little course I have through Sand Hollow. That's kind of my take people for a ride type thing, where you go up to the water tanks, go down the long whoop road.
Now, mind
go
you, when he says take people for a ride, I was driving.
Mm-hmm.
I drove this thing like I stole it.
Okay. Like a
Which
rental.
I've never let anyone else drive the Can-Am for that
Wow.
matter.
Yeah, I was going to say, knowing you, Toby, that wouldn't happen. So you wouldn't let me
You
drive
can't
it.
remember his name. What do you mean knowing
That's
you,
true.
Toby?
Yeah, this was the same trail hero where Jason finally remembered who I was.
Yeah.
So, there's
Yeah.
lots of great things happen then.
That's the inside joke. I knew who you were, but I didn't want you to know who I knew who you were.
Yeah.
Do you know who I am?
Anyways, so long
Go
story
ahead,
short,
Toby.
Jason took it for about, I don't know, probably a 5 or 10 mile spin through, the sand dunes and all the whoops and stuff. And well, yeah, then he seemed to enjoy it enough because he bought one about a week and a half later.
Yeah, super quick.
Well, I mean, we were just driving around, and there was a spot where there was a dune to the left, dune to the right, and there was like they kind of joined together, and Toby was just like, "Fucking pass him," and I'm like, "All right, I'll pass him," and we did, and just caught some air at the end of it, and he was like, "Dude, we should race," and I'm like, "Yeah, we should," and then when I left Sand Hollow, I had my Can-Am lined up to pick up and buy before I even got home in Reno.
Well, that was interesting because you came back from that ride, and I remember you were like just on cloud 9, electric, and I'm like, what the fuck? Because, dude, this Can-Am is out of control and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, it's a golf cart. No, dude, you don't even understand.
I come from building like long travel Toyota trucks, and like you build a frame truck and it's like, great, you put excess amounts of money into it. And then you're like, it's marginal at best.
Right.
But I could appreciate your enthusiasm there. And I'm like, okay, cool. And, you were super serious and then Trail Hero ends. We go home. We part our ways. And then I get this text or phone call. It's like, dude, I bought a Can-Am. And I'm like, what? No, I bought a race Can-Am. Okay, cool.
Yep.
And then you kidded the hell out of that thing. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I had a head start. So this is super fucking random. So I was sitting there and I had posted a picture on Instagram and it said, just like that, Jay Barry's got a new hobby. And it was a picture of some stupid selfie that Toby took.
Right.
And Harry Wagner, do you know Harry
Yeah,
Wagner?
I know Harry.
So
Yeah.
Harry Wagner
Harry's
messaged,
great.
yeah. So he messaged me back and he's like, dude, my friend has one for sale. And I'm like, send me the details. Like, toot sweet. Like right now, send me the details. So he sends me the Craigslist ad and I'm looking at it and I'm reading through it and I'm like, okay. It ran Vegas to Reno, one race. And I start going through the ad and I'm looking at the phone number and I'm like, it looks familiar. And I go through it and I actually type the phone number into my phone.
Okay.
Right? Just to see. And sure as shit, it shows up on my phone. I have
Oh, you had a contact.
So it's this dude I used to hang out with like 10 years ago in Reno.
No shit.
And like, so I already knew him and I was like, and I like messaged Harry back and I was like, is this Dylan, like Deluxe Dylan, like OG fabricator in Reno? And he's like, yeah, do you know him? And I'm like, yeah.
It's a small world, man.
It is a small world. So I texted Dylan. I'm like, hey, man, it's been like 10 years since we've been, hanging out, but I heard you got a Can-Am for sale. And he was like, yeah. And that was it. The rest was history.
Oh, wow.
Showed up, price is right, bought it, and 4 months later, we raced it at Hammers.
Here we go. That's crazy.
So tell us a little bit about the car. What's the dealio with it? What makes it so special? Is it like all hopped up, chipped? And I mean, I can't believe it's just stock.
Nah, I mean, it's stock-ish. So it... so it's a rear mount radiator and a Jazz fuel cell. So it's a 16-gallon fuel cell in there.
Okay.
Instead of the, I don't know, what is it, Toby? 11 gallons factory up front?
Yeah, it's like 10.
Yeah.
But it should be known that on Jason's, the whole thing, when he's saying like rear mount fuel cell and everything, essentially the whole thing is back halved. So it's all fully tubed out back there.
Yeah.
Everything that was back there was gone.
Just all tubed out.
Somehow again, Dylan, my previous friend owner, managed to fit a 16-gallon fuel cell in there and a radiator, rear mount radiator, and so there was like no weight up front, and this thing it did pretty good.
Yeah, it gets.
It would not pass tech. There was a bunch of things wrong with it, but
really?
that was a whole other wiring nightmare.
Well, it's a golf cart.
It's Well, a golf cart's pretty easy. You think it's
Pretty
gonna be
straightforward, you would think.
simple. Yeah,
One would think.
one
Well,
would think.
you got about 50 pounds of lights
So-
on that thing, and
That's the funny story. So, like, when I was trying to figure out, so it has a master kill switch, right? These are like race requirements.
Yeah,
When
sure.
you hit the kill switch, the engine's supposed to stop, and everything turns off. And when I would hit the master kill switch on mine after I bought it, it would go into limp mode and run like shit. And I was like, that's not going to pass
No,
tech.
no, that ain't gonna work.
So
kinda like
when
a
I was trying to
Ford.
figure out what, Jesus, we're already back to that. So I was trying to figure out what's wrong with it, and I pulled the center console apart, and it looked like, I don't know, a rat's nest is the best way to put it.
Really?
And so I decided to start from scratch, ripped all the wiring out, and I weighed everything that I pulled out, and I believe it was 14 and a half pounds of wires
Wow.
that I'd pulled out.
what?
14 and a half pounds. I literally weighed it.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Because there was loops that were going back and forth, back and
a
forth,
lot.
back and forth. I mean, previous owner, he can build a damn good cage. Wiring was obviously not the forte.
Forte.
And everything was like done in stages. So it's like, oh, well, here's for the chase light. 2 months later, oh, this is for the radiator.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
this
yeah,
is, So I just started fresh and just deleted everything.
So how did you and Toby connect and come to fruition? So what was that phone call like to Toby? Like, hey, we're racing KOH 2022.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure he was more enthusiastic about it than I was.
I
that
just
true?
stoked to be back in a race car,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially one that I didn't have to pay for.
There you go.
Well, that's-
Exactly.
Hey, in his
Like,
defense, he was so excited. He was like, dude, bro, typical.
Bro,
bro.
bro,
I'll go halves on this on
bro.
you. And I'm like, you already have one.
Yeah. That's cool. So he was super excited.
Yeah, he was excited. So I flew him out, or he flew out over New Year's, and we spent 4 days in the garage other than eat, sleeping, and, and we prepped the car,
Right.
put a winch on it, because that's kind of a requirement.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And got it put together, and
A Warren winch.
a Warren winch.
Yeah.
Warren. Yeah.
Yep.
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 Brand new Axon.
Yep.
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 Got to throw the sponsors out there.
Absolutely.
That was later in the story.
Soon to be sponsors.
I will say Warren was my first sponsor.
Yeah. They're great.
So Warren's great.
Yeah.
They're pretty awesome.
And you got the
And it got
hammer
its fair
loop.
share of use too.
What's
Yeah.
that?
It got its fair share of use.
Yeah,
Oh
oh,
yeah,
yeah.
we it works well.
Well, we'll get into the details of the race here in a moment, but so obviously the lead up to the race, the car prep, and the adventure to get to the
Oh,
lake
man.
bed. I mean, there was so many stories flying around, when we were at camp up there at Hammertown Heights about pre-running and whatnot. I mean, before you even, there's so much drama that was occurring before you even before you guys even got to the starting line. I mean, you want to talk a little bit about all that?
Yeah, so I got the car wrapped. That was like a last minute sponsor.
It looked
/
great. It looked like a
partnership.
professional car.
It really did.
Yeah.
And so, like, in part, I found this wrap company. Well, in part for what I do for work, I deal with law enforcement on a
Sure.
daily basis. So I talked to like the local sheriff, and I'm like, "Hey, who does our stickers?" And they told me, and I went down and talked to them, and they were all up. They actually do a wrap, and they sponsor a 4400 car.
Oh, wow.
And they were like, "Yeah, we're down to do a golf cart." And I'm like, "Rad! Here's my plan, and here's my schedule." And they're like, "Are you serious?
Right.
Like that's 3 weeks away?" And I'm like, "I know."
No pressure.
And I'm like, "Look, I can drop it off to you. I got to go to Denver for a week. Just
Yeah.
do it while I'm gone." And it worked
Figure
out.
it out.
And so it looks like a little cop car, and it has all the lights and sirens for the things that I
Sure.
do for work. And then I brought it home, and then I flopped it on its side promptly, like
Right in the neighborhood.
like 4 hours afterwards, right in my neighborhood. And then, but that was
that's
fine.
a PR professional right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that far. And then we got it done to Hammers, and it was running great at home, and it was just running like shit out there.
Oh,
Kept
no
throwing
way.
limp code, just misfires, cylinder 1, cylinder 1 and 2, cylinder 1, 2, 3, and could not figure out what the hell was going on. And we were going through everything. Spark plugs were fouled out, too much anti-seize. We were just going through it over and over and over again and could not figure out what's happening.
Sure.
And then I called one of my buddy who actually pitted for me. He's actually runs the motorsports department, the service department in Carson.
Oh,
for Michaels.
okay.
And I'm like, dude, I can't figure out what's going on. He was like, change the belt. I'm like, it's a brand new belt. And he's like, change the fucking belt. And I was like, all right. We changed
So
the belt.
random.
We changed the belt, and it ran like a rape ape afterwards.
Wow. Isn't that
And
amazing?
we ended up putting a laser on the old belt, and you could see it had a little waver on it.
Okay.
So again, another thing that happened, we had a fuel leak that was dripping just perfectly through my fuel cell and dropping down right into the belt housing. And so the fuel ended up warping the belt.
Oh.
So that explains all the limp mode codes.
Okay.
Wow.
And running great. Toby and I went on a little fun run and just like it was running great. And then we heard some loud noises in the front diff.
And then we heard some loud noises.
But I was like, screw it. It's running great. It's fine. We'll deal with it tomorrow. And we backed out in the morning to go pre-run, and it sounded really, really loud. It was like loud, obnoxious front differential.
yeah, something's not right.
Something's wrong. And Toby was like, we should stop.
Shit.
Yeah, that was to pre-run qualifying too.
Right.
So like qualifying was in like what 6 hours from then, or
No.
actually,
So
that was
this
pretty early in the morning.
it was the day before qualify. It was the
Okay.
day before qualify, and we were going to pre-run the day before, and loud noises. And this is Monday. And for those of you that know like power sports,
Yeah.
there's not very, very few power sports departments that are open on Monday.
Sure.
No.
They're open Saturday, and so Sunday and
Close
Monday.
Monday, yeah.
So Monday morning, I call every power sports place I can find in California, Nevada, and Arizona. And I found one front diff in 3 states, and it was damn near Mexico.
Really? Nice.
So I had to go on a 6-hour detour to El Centro, California.
El Centro, California. Yeah.
Were you packing?
I think that's where
I'm gonna-
Lorenzo.
no,
Lorenzo,
no,
were you
definitely
near
not.
there? No.
I lost all my guns in a canoeing accident.
You boys like Mexico?
That doesn't get old.
So the day of qualify, I was on a 6-hour detour
Wow.
to Mexico. So by the time we got it back, put the new front diff in, I missed qualify.
Oh, boy. So where'd you end up starting in the race then? Dead last or close to dead last?
Pretty much damn near. So we started 120th of 124
Oh, man.
overall and 50 of 51 in our class.
So which class were you in?
Stock turbo.
Stock turbo.
Yeah, stock turbo.
Because there's the unlimited class or whatever for side by
Yeah,
side.
so it was new for Ultra 4 this year, so they broke it up into multiple classes. So there was unlimited, which are the same guys that run on 4400.
Sure.
And then there was stock turbo, stock NA, and there was pro or pro modified, something like that.
Okay. So like 4 classes.
Yeah. So we were in the stock turbo class.
Right on.
Okay.
So you start 120 out of 124.
The good news is only 4 people could have passed us.
Yeah, but I mean, this is
So I got that going for
this is
me.
a great story because I mean, it sounds like you were. I mean, you can do the whole race recap and you'll tell us all about it. But I mean, it sounds like your tenacity was impressive and you just kept grinding it out, which was, I mean, aside from all the wrenching that you guys did the day before the race.
No, not the day before, like days before.
Yeah.
They were constantly working on that fucking car. Every time I came over, what's going on?
Well, it was always on jack stands. I know that. I mean, but
It's like these fucking
but
golf
that-
carts need a lot of work.
that's the
Like
pits,
every
man.
Toyota.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the-
exactly.
I mean, Samurais, Toyotas, whatever. They all need a little bit of love. Well, a lot of love. I mean,
I wake up in the morning and I put gas in my shit and I check all the bolts and I'm good.
you weren't racing.
No, I wasn't racing.
So
All right. Well, let me know when your balls
you
drop.
drive-
Hashtag why I'm not racing. No, I'm okay with that.
yeah.
That's
So
why I don't race.
You're not wrong, though. I mean, we literally were working on that thing all the way up until
I brought you over
basically
lights and tools
day
and
before the
yeah,
race,
it
we
was
were working on it.
ridiculous.
Bourbon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, every
bourbon.
the
Yeah, I
first
brought you bourbon.
every once in a while,
The
Barry
first
would
successful drive we actually had was the day immediately before the race.
Yep.
Because me and Jason went out and essentially did a pre-run of like 20 miles just to make sure it was working. That was the first time the race car I'd ever been around it where it actually fully functioned.
Yeah.
Literally.
And in that time, we were just basically getting the front diff hot,
Ah.
and just breaking the gears in.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so race day, you guys, get up, get dressed, and go and what happened?
Oh, I haven't.
Well, I was visibly and a little bit pissed off that we were starting so far back, but and we just drove the wheels off of it, and then I don't know, Toby, help me out. We were probably 10 miles deep when we had to stop.
Oh, yeah, probably a bit more than that.
So
I think we were past the military boundary at that point.
So when I went to Mexico, Toby went out and pre-run in his Can-Am basically the entire desert loop.
Okay.
With Stuart, and they took like meticulous notes.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going through to contingency, and contingency is just a giant parade, for lack of a better words. So the whole time Toby's sitting there on the low rants, just doing his nerd shit. And typing all like his entire notes in there.
Enhance.
And we're coming up on this.
Enhance.
It was like an off-camber G out, and he was just like, he's like, hey, slow down, off-camber G out to the right. And all right, cool.
Yeah.
And we see like a yard sale in front of us, and just dust and things or whatever. And we passed by, and some dude's hand was waving out the window. Shit. And I flew right past him, and Toby's like, stop, turn around. And I'm like, but we're so far. And he was like, dude, we're last. If we pass by him, nobody else is behind us.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
And like Jason said, it's like these guys' side by side is rolled over, and the door isn't popped open, the window's not open, and it's just his little hand just like waving in the breeze.
Oh, shit.
Type thing. And I'm going like, holy shit, this person's fucking dying.
Yeah,
because
we need
they're
help.
sitting there. Yeah. I'm going like, all right, pull over, make sure they're alive, which then it turned out that like, I don't know what their deal was. There's some chick that was all strapped in going, oh, I can't feel my legs. I'm going, I don't know if that means your spine is broken, but it seemed like maybe just the circulation had been cut off because they were hanging by their harnesses, And then it seemed like once her husband, who was the co-driver, got out and was like, oh, yeah, we're fine. So then I got back in and said, let's go. But yeah, it's like that first passing by of going,
wow.
Oh, the little hand is flying there, and I'm ready to get PTSD of seeing someone all destroyed in their race car.
Right.
But it wasn't. They seemed fine. So
That's
that was our good karma.
That's your good
that was
karma
the race
points right
karma,
there.
Yeah.
And everybody that we passed up until that point, because I got to say, I was driving like an asshole, and like we're just passing people. Everybody that we passed flew by us.
Really?
And so that, but good karma, race karma.
Right.
Race karma.
Yeah. And we had a really clean run through Cougar Buttes.
Okay.
I don't know, Toby, I don't remember a whole lot between that.
Well, all I'll say is Jason is a very good driver. And, when we had pre-run earlier, it seemed like he was driving like a complete bat out of hell. And then during the actual race, it seemed like he was, toned way back down. And it seemed like we had this mutual understanding of, Toby would be the one that would essentially set the bar of how fast we would go. And then Jason was the one setting, the floor of how slow we would go type thing. So we kind of had this range going on. But I mean, it worked out great, right? Because all of lap one, we didn't have a single issue. And like you said, we cruised through everything, got to Cougar Buttes, cruised through that totally fine. I mean, Grand Cougar Buttes is easy. But yeah, and then, shout out to Stu for help taking notes when I pre-ran, since he wrote everything down.
Yeah.
But we were able to just haul ass, of going like, we would hit hills and it's like, okay, there's like a single whoop on the backside of this hill, or, you can just do a blind shoot over this hill because I know the backside's safe. So we were able to go like really fast. And then Jason kind of brought us back to, 80 or 90%, it felt like, of just the car wasn't getting, the shit beat out of it. And he was in control. And, honestly, I didn't know if he could even hear me since he was pretty quiet the whole time. And I just sat there, literally reading off, sharp right, sharp left, long sweeping left, all that stuff.
All right. So we had some evolution in the the whole co-driver thing.
Right.
We hadn't done a lot of seat time together.
Yeah.
And I'm a very much driver passenger kind of person from, just in general. And so we started that way, and it quickly evolved to left, right. And it quickly evolved to, because like driver, 2 syllables, right, left, 1 syllable,
sure,
passenger, 3 syllables. And he was like, fuck that. He's like, he's just like left, right. Your left from your right, right? And like Toby, dude, he was just like sweeping left, so hard left. And
like you said at the beginning, I've like, oh, there is a long left coming up. And it's like Jason says, like, that was way too fucking long to say. So then by 30 or 40 miles in, it was like long left, short left, sharp left,
Okay.
and that was like the entire description of it, because anything more than that was taking way too long to say. And I could tell it's like, Jason's going, okay, dude, you're reading me a whole paragraph of what to do. I just need like instantly what's happening in the next 100 feet, So it was completely what Jason said, of this dynamic of starting out where you weren't in the rhythm, and then you got an hour into it, and then everything is just very smooth and flowing. It's pretty cool. I was just along for the ride. It was a good time.
So do you think that if there weren't as many mechanical issues that occurred pre-race with, you guys would have been able to work some of that stuff out during pre-running?
For sure. But we didn't get a lot of pre-running time.
Well, I mean, just so you had to kind of learn on the fly, which is that's how everybody adapts. I mean,
Right.
you either adapt or you don't, and you did. And I think the results of how the rest of the race, or at least till it wasn't a race anymore, kind of went.
Well, I mean, I will say at one point, again, we started in 50th of 51.
Right.
And at one point we were in 11th in our class.
Yeah, that was impressive.
And then I broke a bunch of shit.
Right.
So how did that all happen and happen about?
We were it was Spooners, right, Toby?
Yeah. Spooners went up, I think.
So we went Spooners, and there was some confusion about whether you could take the bypass or whether you couldn't, or whether you get penalized or not. And people, it was kind of it was a parking lot when we got there. And so we were trying to do the right thing, and like we thought we couldn't take the bypass, so we're going through, and there's an obstacle going up, and I took a stupid line, and then it wasn't going, and Toby gets out, and he's spotting me, and he's like, bro. That's Toby. He's like, bro. He's like, your axle is sitting on the ground. You sheared the shaft, not the joints, the shaft. Just sheared off in half.
Looked like someone cut it with a bandsaw.
Right.
It was the cleanest cut you've ever seen in your entire life. And I was like, how the fuck does that even happen? And I was like, all right. So we tried backing out. So that was the driver's rear CV shaft.
Yeah.
So we backed out. And then trying to go through the bypass, I blew the front outer CV on the same side.
Jesus.
So basically, we had a motorcycle at that point.
Yeah.
We had right-hand drive.
Yeah.
Lean over.
No, that's you kidding me? Like, we made really good right-hand turns, but we couldn't turn left for shit.
Oh, jeez.
And through some creative, I don't know, winching and strapping, we got out of there. And we drove off course for, I don't know, like 30 miles to get to pit.
Yeah, I would say 30.
Wow.
And like,
Really?
I didn't even know this rule. Like, Toby told me, he's just like, we're in the middle of this. And he's like, let's go to pit 2 and let's change everything out. And I'm like, well, what does that mean?
Wow.
And he was like, well, as far as I understand the rules, like, we're allowed to go into the pits.
Sure.
And
Oh, and it was the dumbest thing ever, because we're like going down the pit road, and they like want to see our stupid pit bands, and we're like fully suited up.
fucking
Like,
Are you
racing.
kidding me? You're in a race car. Well,
so
golf
we're
cart,
off
race
course
car.
30 freaking miles. And
Wow.
we go into the pits.
Oh my
we come
gosh.
in,
And they're asking for your wristband.
Yeah.
Sir?
excuse me, sir. Do you know where you're
where
going?
you
What's your
going?
intentions?
Oh my god.
And I think we were the first car actually to get into pit 2 also.
Oh, we were the first
So-
car to go into
Really?
pits.
Oh, that's impressive.
Of course, we came in backwards, but
So, having said that, now, I mean, did you need to? So you fixed the car.
Oh, we pulled in there. Course marshal came up to us, and he was just like literally race ops got on the phone on the radio and was like, "What the fuck is this guy doing going backwards on the race course?" By the way, we were not on the race course. We were not going backwards, but
Right.
we were off course, but going the opposite direction of the course.
So where I was going with that is, so you get the car all fixed up, and then did you have to backtrack and resume the course from the point of breakage, basically, like back to
Yep.
Spooners, if you will?
Yep.
Oh wow! So that was a 60-mile detour.
It was a 2-hour detour.
wow.
2-hour tour.
Wow.
But yeah, it was a 2-hour detour. It took us like an hour to get back, and then 30 minutes for the CV changes. And I think we got back to Spooners in 17 minutes.
Wow, that's impressive.
yeah, it was pretty fast.
I was
Because don't
pissed.
forget, since that one CV, the main issue is the rear CV, since the thing had totally sheared, right? So
Sure.
we had to go and like try and strap it to the the little radius rods, the links that go out laterally.
Oh, we
So that-
literally took a strap that we cut like
Okay.
a ratchet strap, and
Okay.
like wrapped it around the radius rod.
Oh,
and I'm like,
wow.
as long as it
Yeah.
can still spin,
Yeah.
and so an articulate.
But that was the issue. Yeah, we could only do 10 miles an hour or something. That thing's just slapping around back there.
Oh
So
my god.
So no
if the
option just to remove
CV,
it?
no, well, yeah, because it was on the outer side. So essentially, you had this really short stub on the diff side, which was perfect. But then the actual hub side, which was arguably the more valuable one, since it held the hub together, we couldn't
okay.
pull that one out.
So the hub side to almost all the way to the inner CV joint. So I mean, within 3 inches was ratchet strapped to the radius rod.
Oh boy.
So these were stock shafts and CV joints, or
The rear ones were stocks.
okay. So what would be an upgrade like? Besides RCVs, would that be like a chrome moly or?
Oh, would you like to talk about my new sponsor that I just met?
Oh,
Well,
nice
that's a
segue,
great
Chris.
segue. I like my segues.
Nice segue.
Yes, so
yeah.
we just got a partnership with RCV, and we got on their highest platform.
Fantastic!
How about
Congratulations!
that? Let's get some applause.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Where were you a year and a half ago when I bought my RC?
I'm pretty sure they just felt bad for us, and it was a pity sponsorship.
Hey,
Well, again, I'm going to go back
I'll
to
take
the
it.
tenacity.
Heck yeah.
They didn't see quit, and that's important.
yeah, you
'cause a lot of-
kept rallying after 3 axles.
Yeah, so that was that. So that was 2 axles, and then we picked back up, made it through Spooners.
blue
Almost,
tire at the top.
almost all the way through
Oh.
Spooners. Blew a tire at the top, and I was like, Toby's just like, eat that skeet, and I'm like, what?
Eat this.
What does that mean? He's like, just go, dude.
Just what does that mean?
And we got through Spooners. We changed the spare tire out.
Okay.
Because we slashed the sidewall. Down outer limits, no problem. And then, again, visibly pissed off because of all this stuff that's going on.
Right.
And then race ops got us at 87 miles an hour, I believe. Trying to make up as much time as I could.
Okay.
And
Is that pegged?
oh, yeah, I was pinned. And like Toby was like, "Are we gonna blow another belt?" I'm like, "I don't give a shit."
My fucks,
We did blow a belt.
My bucket of fucks is empty.
Yeah, no. Like I started the day with 10
fuck
fucks.
that
I'm ending with 11. Somebody's gonna give a fuck about me.
That's great.
So we didn't blow a belt. 87's fastest thing I had that thing too. I didn't even know what to do at 87, but
Wow.
And then I hit. It's got to be the smallest rock I've ever seen in my entire damn life. It's just like that big. And we got, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 miles before aftershock.
Yeah.
And Toby's like, something doesn't feel right. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't feel right. And I'm
Right.
like, oh, that felt like a rim just bent.
Ooh.
It turns out it did.
Shit.
We had slashed another sidewall, and I was like, fuck it, dude. I'm going to run this all the way to remote pit 2.
Nice.
And yeah, we didn't make it. Well, we tried. And you're in that canyon. There's no reception. Our tracker, the beacon, like it didn't show us moving for like an hour, and all of a sudden we moved 8 miles.
Wow. You guys are that's like genie shit right
And
there.
so like
Teeny shit.
sim salabim. And Jesus Christ.
There it is.
And yeah, we were sitting there and we were both beat to shit. We've been in the car for like 9 hours, and we see
Right.
some headlamps because we were winching over everything. So the tire that blew was the driver rear that we
Okay.
slashed, and we're going up aftershock. So it just kept binding over and over and over again. We're winching and pulling, and then I blew another CV up front. So now we got flat tire in the rear, same side, broken front CV. So
Yeah,
again, basically 2-wheel drive, and it was just binding.
Wow.
And
Yeah, the driver's side had a hard time.
yeah, it's probably the driver.
I appreciate you saving my side so I wouldn't get beaten up.
That's right. The wrong.
Well, you
side.
had one rule going to this. He's like, I don't give a shit what you do, Jason. He's like, I just don't let me die.
Don't let me die. Don't let me die.
For the record, Toby, what's the T-shirt I got you? What does it say?
I didn't die.
I didn't die.
So did anybody die?
But
No.
did you die?
No.
No, nobody died.
No, we didn't.
No death occurred. It was great.
Successful
stoked.
race.
But you
Successful, yeah.
And then the Snail Boys rescued us.
right?
Oh my gosh. You were in Aftershock?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tyler was over there.
Well, he was
Yeah.
talking all about it on their show. Did you hear his? Did you listen to their show?
Not yet. I'm still catching up.
Wow.
I'm still catching up. Are you
Okay.
kidding me? I left Hammers and I've been like nonstop trying to work.
Join
like,
the
my real
club, buddy.
job.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Welcome to.
But yeah,
daily
shout out
life.
to Snail Boy and the other dude
Snail
because they
Boy.
walked most of the last
They walked
third
like
or
the
quarter
last
of
third of
Aftershock with
Aftershock.
us.
Really?
They walked
So
down.
that was
and
Tyler.
We were beat to shit.
I wonder who was
Oh, we
with
were so
Tyler.
fucking tired.
Because I don't think Jimmy was with Tyler.
No,
And so
Jimmy was
apparently,
not.
like race ops were trying to get a
Yeah.
hold of us. They tried to hit the repeater. And,
They
like,
couldn't in that canyon.
Nobody,
it was
nobody
not
could get
happening.
us, and they were
Yep.
just like, "You guys are right." And they're like, "Are you Jason?" I'm like, "Yeah, Jason." He's
Yeah.
like, Are you guys? Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah.
Why? He's like, "Nobody's heard from you in 2 hours."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Like-
heard.
and they were like, "Dolly's pissed." And I'm like, "Why is Dolly pissed?" They've been trying to. She's all right,
Yeah.
Weather Mom is pissed.
Weather Mom. Yeah. No.
Checkpoint Dolly.
It was. It
Yeah.
was. It was. It was concerning because you guys fell off the radar and we're like, "Where the fuck are they? What's going on?" And then, boom, you're back. Guess
And
who's
so-
back? Back again.
The Snail Trail Boys got us off.
Whoa!
That's full
They
service
got us
right
off
there.
the trail.
Wow.
Keep it in your pants.
Wow! Wow!
So they got us off the trail.
Wow.
And they're like, "You want to tow back to pit 2?" And I'm like, "Nope, I'm driving."
Yeah.
And drove back, and our pit crew was still there.
Okay.
And I was like, "Change my fucking tire. I'm driving this thing back."
Make this thing
You
work.
did. You
yeah.
drove. You drove back.
I drove
to,
that thing back.
You drove back to
Yeah.
Hammertown
Yeah.
on your own power, which is
Yeah, that's
awesome.
pretty cool.
So yeah. Now, wow, King of the
How many
Hammers
miles?
2022. Yeah. How many miles did you guys get?
As far as race course miles, we made it to 119.5.
Wow. Okay.
Plus
that's
60.
On
impressive.
race day, we actually had over 150.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of our little
Little
detour.
zigzaggy here, there. Yeah. Okay.
But, it was good.
All right.
So it did, fair enough. It was DNF
Yeah.
for sure. We timed out. But
Not
Solid.
But
at
you,
the
Solid
end of
effort.
it, we didn't finish. But at the end of it, our place was, I believe, 25th in the class and started
Okay.
50th.
so
I
124
mean, we made it about
cars.
3/4 of the way
Yeah.
of the whole course.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Will you do it again?
What?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's got it.
I ain't no bitch.
That's what I want to hear.
Bug.
Hopefully with RCVs, it'll make a difference.
Well, yeah, for sure. So
Oh,
you,
that'll be huge.
Yeah.
so 124 cars started in the whole side by side class. How many? So you said you finished 24th in your class.
I didn't finish.
Well, no, you DNF'd, but if you did finish, it would have been 24th in your class.
25th, I believe.
25th. How many cars actually finished in that category?
24.
24.
He's just pulling numbers out of his ass.
I don't know. We'll have to look that up. I'm do this
But
all the
I don't.
time.
Go ahead, Toby.
I thought it was like 30. I thought
Yeah.
30 side by sides of all four classes.
like
30
actually
side by sides
finished
total.
on
finished.
time. I
So,
believe it was like
yeah.
so, I mean,
32.
listen to that attrition
sounds
rate, though. That's King of the
huge.
Hammers right there.
Yeah,
you know?
2/3 gone.
Yeah, exactly. But that
Bye-bye.
happens in every class. I mean, whether it's 4,400,
Golf cart
4,800,
down.
it doesn't matter. It's a brutal race. It's legitimately a brutal race, and those attrition numbers show it.
And it just sucked because, like in the beginning, we started dead last, which is cool though, and the same thing because it's a time race. Because we
Yeah,
started
adjusted.
an hour later after everybody. That means we had an extra hour
Right.
at the end. And I'm like, I don't care. I'll wheel at night. But at the end of it, I was just like, we were just beer battered. beat to
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
So a 10-hour car wreck.
It's brutal.
Dude, I could.
Well,
I
the one
couldn't-
thing to note too is if you look at the scoring of times, there's only like 2 or 3 of us that even were still going at the very end. At least that's how I read it, right,
Yep,
Jason?
you're right.
It was, hours of on course time essentially. And for us, it was, like 10 hours and 15 minutes. And like I said, there's like 2 other guys that at
On
that same
course.
time. So
Right.
most people by the 7-hour mark, they'd already broken or given up, and we were at the very fucking end where they just said, okay, we just have to stop you. And there's only a handful of other dudes that are even still going at that point. So
Wow.
Well, you didn't quit, and that is huge right there. I mean, obviously, this RCV, they took pity on you and said, "Hey, we're going to give you some
pity on
parts."
you.
Hey, I'll take the pity.
But
Yeah,
but at the
whatever
same
you
time,
got,
they also
I'll take it.
they see something. They see a team that doesn't quit. And that's huge. I mean, because how many other teams are like, "Oh, we threw a belt. Let's call it a day," or whatever.
Threw a belt.
So I think it was just I don't know. I don't know if let's call it a team, but it's just like a group of just degenerate friends of ours that just like to camp and do dumb shit.
Yeah, but that's pretty cool, and that's King of the Hammers. It's like, right? I mean, this is the epitome of it. You went out, you were out racing in King of the Hammers as a co-dog, and you get involved, and you go, okay, hey, I can get a side by side and be racing, and you raced it this year, and then you just throw it out there to your friends, but it's that. I mean, you're asking for
down.
it's a big ask, but people are like, "Fuck yeah, I'm in." I mean, this is a cool deal, and I want to be part of it, and this would be great. And you instantly had pit crews and people helping you, and
I have to give it to Amber because she was the one that started this whole thing
Yeah.
for me, and I got to give it to the Hannahs in general, that
Yeah.
whole family,
Yep.
and their support, and the brothers and the sisters,
Yep.
and all their degenerate, boyfriends and girlfriends and whatnot, and introducing me to Toby. Like, I would have never. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I'll be honest. I would have never done it if it wasn't for them.
no,
Right.
you're right,
Yeah.
and it's cool.
And it was, like, screw it. Like, why not start my first professional off-road race?
Yeah,
With that. Now, I mean, I have history racing, but that's neither here nor there. But it's not off-road, and that's
right.
just-
But then to
Racing's
get
racing, man.
to get that support, and then to get some corporate support through your company,
Yeah.
and then other companies jumping on board, it's like, oh my gosh, this is legit, right? I mean, this
for
is
sure.
pretty freaking cool,
Absolutely.
even for golf carts.
Even for golf carts. So you've got the car back together, I assume, at this point. It's 100%.
I wouldn't go that far. So in coming back from Hammers, I thought I just needed to change the CV and started going through it, the fine tooth comb. Had 9 broken bolts on the car. Fortunately, most of those was just skid plates.
Just minor stuff.
And the rear radius rods where they go into the rear bulkhead, there's 6 bolts that go in there, right?
Okay.
And 5 of them on the bulkhead, not the bolts, but around where they go into the bulkhead, are cracked.
Ooh.
So that's currently disassembled, and
Okay.
paint's all gone, and we're currently taking around everything. And I'm gonna
Okay.
make like a weird actual double shear plate for it, because it's basically just a single shear.
Yeah,
plate
yeah,
that
yeah.
goes on it, which is dumb. So we're doing like a actual double shear plate
Okay.
for that. And so I got that to finish up. Need to make some small tweaks to my little golf cart trailer. And RCV axles, I talked to them today actually on the drive down here.
Nice.
Good.
And supply chain.
Yeah.
typical
Yeah, we're
BS.
hearing everything.
And I called them. I'm like, look, man, I understand things are going on.
But I got a race in a few weeks.
I got a race in like literally like 2.5.
Yeah.
Weeks. Like, what's going on? And they're like, well, your rear axles will be done. Great, send them. What about the front? And he's
Send
like,
it.
and they were like, Jason, I'm gonna be honest with you, they're not gonna be done.
Oh shit. Okay.
So I was like, all right, well,
You going
give me the
Bluetooth
rears.
axles?
Yeah. Well, no. I actually
Just send it.
I still have another Rhino axle.
Okay.
So I have front axles.
Okay.
And I'm gonna kind of hodgepodge together.
Yeah. Yeah.
A last resort front
Okay.
axle, if you will.
Okay.
And we'll go to Moab and see what happens.
Okay.
So Moab.
Yes.
So that's your next race.
Well,
Okay.
it was supposed to be Tuella,
Yeah, and then everything fucking
and then
just
everything with the
went into the
just
blender.
shit the bed.
Mid America
MAO.
off-road.
Mid America off road.
You want to buy a vowel?
I don't know.
Mid America
Mid America
Outdoors.
off road. I don't know what the hell it is.
Isn't it outdoors?
Mid America outdoors.
Mid America outdoors. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. JT Taylor.
So now all of a
Yeah.
sudden, 2 weeks earlier
Jason.
than we were supposed
Another
to.
Jason.
Another goddamn Jason's
Jeez, I
taking
know.
over the world.
Fucking
I know,
multiplying.
So good. So good. You know it's good if a Jason's involved.
No.
Just saying.
Eh.
Look at Toby. Toby, you still there?
Jose? Yeah. Just, I'll hold back my judgment.
Okay. All right.
Perfect.
You guys kind of cancel each other out, so
Right.
it works out.
Yes, the elder and the younger. I get it.
Yes. Okay.
Yin and yang.
Okay. There you go.
Where'd they go?
So Mid America outdoors.
Never across the streams.
Yeah, so we're gonna run Moab.
Yeah, you get,
Um,
so yeah, let's talk about 2022 season. So you've already ran KOH. And then so your next race is going to be Moab.
Correct.
Okay, that's cool.
I'm pumped for that one. I love
Yeah.
that course.
Yeah.
We did so I co-drove for Amber again last year.
Yeah.
Beat down at BFE.
Okay.
And hands down, I mean, Hammers is it's
It's
the
the
amazing.
pinnacle.
It's the pinnacle,
Yeah.
you know. but beat down at BFE was like
pretty freaking legit,
Yeah,
huh?
it
Yeah,
was a
that
super
was
fun
hardcore,
course.
legit. BFE is amazing.
Yeah.
I got to check that out years ago before it was like, I mean, they just started calling it BFE. And it was like, oh my God, this place is insane. And then you guys, did the race there.
But did you die?
I didn't die.
did you die?
I didn't die. But
so we
anyways,
we had everything set up for Tuella.
Yeah.
Had pit crew, Toby was
Utah.
coming out. Yes.
Yeah.
Tuella, Utah, and all that set up. And then
The rug got pulled
Just
out from under you.
kidding.
Yeah. Haha.
Psych.
Not so much. Psych.
now Sturgis is considered
got
West
a
Coast
new-
race.
Yeah, we got a new race series coming out here.
So 2 weeks earlier.
Wow.
So we're still gonna do Moab.
Okay.
We have a pit crew now.
Yeah.
Fair enough. It's I don't know how, but so 303 shocks out of Colorado.
Okay.
In the pit for us, and so we're gonna run that, and then we are gonna do Prairie City.
Prairie City.
Sorry, my bad. We're gonna do Prairie City.
CITY. Why?
That's close by.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's an hour and a half
in our
from my house. That's
backyard.
great.
Exactly.
That's gonna
Yeah.
be an easy race. And there might be something else that Toby and I are going to be working on that we're not entirely sure we're going to
Okay.
disclose.
There's
at
the
this point.
tease, little
golf
Easter
cart
egg,
tease?
Easter egg, golf cart Easter egg.
But I'm just saying, if it was easy, anybody would do it. So we're
No.
just going to go for the hardest freaking races in the country.
No, exactly. so that's cool. And we like to make fun of golf carts on this
A
podcast.
bit.
Oh, no. I have
And
not gathered
you
this at
caught
all.
us at a weak moment where you're like, "Hey, we'd like to be on the podcast," and
It's because gas is expensive. You need the money.
exactly. So I'm like, "This is a good economy."
let's be honest. The
podcast
only
here.
reason you're fucking podcasting me right now is because the Snail Boys were wooing us.
no, we don't care about the Snail Boys.
Sure you do.
They know nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah,
Nothing.
there are 14 transfer cases and ultra
low.
Yeah, torques. All the torques. They got
Do it.
all the
Do the
torques.
torques.
Do
Come
the
on.
torques.
Do the torques.
Where's the torques? Come on, Chris.
Come on, Chris. Do the torques.
Come on, Chris. Here we go.
Do the torques.
Oh,
You can't handle the
torques. Oh, there it is. Anyways,
Good job, Lorenzo.
So the golf Lorenzo is just like over there. I think Luna was kind of messing around with
They
him
were sniffing.
earlier.
They were sniffing bugs.
Yeah, they were
Sure.
sniffing butts.
Pretty sure she dry humped him.
Yeah, I think she did. Lorenzo doesn't look too happy right now, but
He'll get over it.
he'll get over it. Okay, it was a good for Lorenzo. No, he's not even
Sit,
looking at
boo-boo,
me right
sit.
now.
He can't maintain eye contact.
But no, it's the golf cart scene is alive and well, and we did golf cart recovery on KOH Thursday,
Yeah.
and that was fun, and it
All
was
right.
okay. Oh wait,
I can do it.
it was
slightly
amazing watching what these things could do. I mean, it just still blows me away. Go ahead.
All right, so I had my own personal goal. Everybody wants to finish.
Yeah, I never saw you through Chocolate Thunder. Where were you?
I'm working on that. Can you?
Oh, okay.
Shut
Okay.
the fuck up for a
Okay.
second.
I'll just be quiet over here. I barely saw Kevin
So,
Jones
like,
Ultra
I had-
4X Racer.
I had a plan to originally it was just finish, and then it was just send it, Jason, and see what happens.
Right.
And after we did very well in Desert Lap, I was like, all right, maybe we should actually. So I had a new plan, a goal. and that was-
Amended plan.
amended plan was
Yes.
to get to Chocolate
Yes.
Thunder just to flip you off.
Oh, that'd be so good.
And so if it wasn't for the two axles that we share,
Well, you were close because I heard you on the radio that you were over in Aftershock. And then, that's when all hell broke loose
Yeah.
over there.
yeah. So I really wanted to, I don't know,
Yeah.
flop the car in front of you so you could.
No, that
recover
would have
it.
been awesome. That would have been awesome. We had like 12 good flops on Chocolate Thunder.
They had to recover Ray.
We were race mile 127. Yeah, Ray went down. We had a member of
Oh,
our
I
own
saw
team that
that.
went down. Oh my
I
god,
saw
it's
that
so
on
good.
You should have winched Ray up.
That was by Temp Media filming for Monster and stuff, and they got a great angle. I've got it from the
Oh,
top,
dude,
but
it is
they got
so
an epic
funny.
angle.
Where it's like, duh-duh.
And it literally was like an 8-10 foot drop. I mean, because I was right beside him. I was to his left,
Right.
and he went down. I'm like, "What are you doing down there?" And he was way below, and it was hilarious. But Funny, not funny, but he
didn't-
survived.
He didn't
was
get
fine.
hurt. He was
yeah,
sore.
nobody
but he didn't
died.
get hurt. Nobody died.
Did you die?
No.
you
But did you die?
Didn't die.
But anyways, so the golf carts are obviously taking hold.
It's dumb, man. Like
It is. It is.
It's.
Have you guys been in one? Because I wanted to give you a ride at Hammers.
No.
Both Chris and Jason. I don't
No,
know.
I've been in
it
one.
wasn't
I
running
won't-
long enough for us to take a ride.
won't
So
get it.
we
I won't
No,
get
we
in
were
one
talking
again.
about Toby's.
Oh,
and his was
Toby's.
piss and diff.
Toby's
fluid.
was good.
No,
Yeah.
I've-
It was
I've
great.
been-
I got 5 gallons of diff fluid at Napa, and everybody thought I was Kevin Jones because I had his fucking shirt
that's
on, and we
so
kind of looked the
good.
same.
That's so good. Are you Kevin Jones? Why, yes, I am.
He's like, "You're Kevin Jones,
Why,
right?"
yes,
And I was like, "Cool."
Here's
like,
25% off.
No, it was half off,
Oh
bro.
my god!
Seriously?
I'm gonna start using that at my auto parts.
Oh,
store.
you didn't hear the story?
No, I heard it, but
Who
I
are
didn't
you?
realize
It was
Kevin
half
Jones.
off. Like
Shit.
Amber's thermostat that was like $8 was like $4, and we bought diff fluid, and I bought a funnel. I
No
got
shit.
like Toby was like, he was like, just buy me all the diff fluid you can find. And I'm like, how much do you want? And he was like, I want gallons. And I'm like, all
but
right.
do you know who I am? Oh, you
So I
look like
walked in
Kevin
there,
Jones.
and like they're all quarts sitting here. I'm like, and I was talking to a guy. I'm like, hey, do you have anything more than a quart? Can I buy this by like the gallon? And he was like, I got 5 gallons back
I
there.
got a 55-gallon drum
Yeah.
in the bag.
And I was like, well, what's that cost? And he was like, are you
Are
Kevin?
you Kevin Jones?
I looked down and I looked at my shirt, and the only reason I took my hoodie off
Because you had it on.
I had a hoodie on and it had gas spilled all over it. And I threw that off, and so I have Kevin's shirt on, and I'm like, all right. He's like, are you Kevin Jones? And I was like, we're basically same height.
Why, yes, I am.
And you
I-
know,
yes,
we
I
look
am.
kind of similar. I'm like, yeah. And he was like, well, you're a racer, so
Wow.
this is 250, so it'll be like 140.
Look at that.
And I was like, thank you.
Could have gone the other way,
you.
too. Been like,
Yeah.
you're Kevin Jones, you owe us
Could've been-
$500.
Could have been 250.
Hey, dude, I'll play the odds.
Yeah.
I'll play the odds. And so, like, you know, we grabbed all that stuff and I threw it in the back of the car, and Amber's in the car. And I'm like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Oh my god.
And she was
that's
like, what?
hilarious.
And I'm like, we got to get out of here quick.
Just robbed the giant.
And I gave her the receipt, and she was like, what the fuck? I don't know.
good old Kevin Jones, that's the racer. Hey, it paid off.
Yeah.
That's good.
So thanks, Kevin.
But no, to answer your question, Toby, is like, yeah, I've been in side by sides going ridiculous speeds, and it is impressive of what they can do.
Yep. I won't get in one again.
Dude, it's like, I mean, come on. It's you go out. I mean, again, I've built long travel trucks before, and like, I could not build
I know
what
for the price
that thing exactly
Yeah,
for bang for
the
buck.
bang for the buck.
I could not have done it.
Yeah, it's
No.
it brings affordability back to the sport, and for that, I'm in. I'm still gonna call them golf carts. It's
That's
funny.
fine.
It's
I'll drive
fun.
a golf cart. Like, I'll put my stupid fucking hat
But
on.
they are-
and I'll bring
they
my
are-
golf clubs. I'll bring my little putter. every
Yeah,
damn
you were
time.
supposed to have the
Golf
golf
bag.
clubs and stuff out
Well,
there. At the
we
back
were
of the
gonna have
cart.
some fun with it. But
I know,
instead I was
and then you were
dealing-
working on your shit all week. But anyways, they are cool, and we'll see how it goes.
That's fun.
Yeah,
I don't regret it.
No, you shouldn't.
No.
I mean, just to get you involved and you raced.
Hey,
you can,
we still started on race day. We still DNF'd on race day.
Yeah.
But we DNF'd.
You
and
drove home under your own power, man.
I
Yeah, you got
loaded
back
that
to
son of
camp.
a bitch right back on the trailer. And
yeah. But to be able at the end of the day to say I raced KOH 2022, that's pretty fucking cool, man.
It's wicked cool.
Yeah, that's
Super
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Chris isn't going to say that. Jason isn't going to say that. So
You guys, no.
I wheeled the trails at KOH. I did that shit. I did the plaque line and all that stuff. But I have no desire to race. I respect you guys that do race. But you were wrenching and grinding, both of you guys, you and Toby, and I'm like, dude, what do you need? And you're like, I need some fucking light. And so I brought over a generator and lights, and you need some bourbon? Okay, here's some bourbon. I mean, whatever I could do to help you guys out, because I felt for you, because it's a grind, man, and just trying to make shit happen, and you got everything online for race day, and it's crazy.
Oh, no, for sure, dude. I mean,
And I love rec wheeling, because you just go out and just wheel and have fun.
And I appreciate the shit of that too. You
Yeah.
know? But this is like something new, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I was just like, you know what? F it. Let's just go do it. And
it's
literally bought a race car and 4 months later,
Yeah.
we sit at Hammers.
Yeah.
4 months.
Yeah.
Like like you guys know, seat time's everything.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
So, like, yes, I have seat time in other rigs, but not in this one.
Right.
I mean, I raped Toby's like it was my own. And yeah, seat time. So, well, I don't know. We'll see what happens in the future.
Yeah. So what do you think, Toby, is being a right seat?
I liked it. I'd do it again. I'll be doing it in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
With all that said, kind of after going through it, my conclusion was I wouldn't want to race a side-by-side in Hammers. Like, I wouldn't build one to race Hammers.
Okay.
Because like Jason said, it was fucking brutal. And, I'd still co-drive for it, but having a dedicated rig for Hammers and going through the rocks and shit in a side-by-side with tiny tires was just beat the shit out of you and
sucks.
so slow and like Jason said, he doesn't have a lot of seat time. I'm not the greatest fucking spotter. Other guys obviously didn't have to winch as much as us, but it was just slow and tedious and brutal. And I mean, it was still a good time, but it was gnarly.
Hey, I will give it to Toby because I swear to God, he probably walked. He got his steps in. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, he fulfilled his step account for that day.
I mean, like 2 weeks beforehand, he calls me and he was like, "Should I go to the gym or something before this? Or what is the protocol?
Yeah.
What do I do with my hands?
What do I do with my hands?
Get
But
gloves. Get a good pair
that's
of
interesting. I mean, because Toby, for those of you that don't know, can build shit. He builds his own vehicles and fabricates all kinds of shit. And you go out to this race, and being a passenger is a whole different ordeal. And then you're saying you don't even want to fucking race that thing, which is where I'm at. It's like I just want to go out and have fun. But yeah, it is. It's extreme. It takes a certain individual.
Oh, it takes a special stupid guy to.
Well, that's what I was just trying to candy coat it, but yeah.
I mean, there was one time where we got on we were going through the desert lap, and I think we were on two wheels for I don't know. It felt like a mile, but it was probably half a second.
Yeah,
and it was Toby's side, so we're and it sets down, and I just keep going, and he just goes, "Cool."
Cool.
Cool.
I know. I always love to hear the banter between the driver and co-dog during those races. So, were you guys pumping each other up? Were you MFing each other, or what was some of the? Were you telling stories? Did you?
I'll let Toby go first.
Did you see this YouTube video of this bird sitting on a?
You want to see my?
So what was that conversation like?
We were actually, Jason was fucking quiet for most of it. And,
which is unusual.
In the desert section, obviously the rocks was a bit different because we were kind of screaming at each other, trying to hear things.
Go left, right.
But
that doesn't sound right.
my whole philosophy, which I had told Jason and other people this, is I'm essentially supposed to be like Google Maps, right? So, like I was saying earlier,
in a British accent, a roundabout above.
Just go and give very concise answers of where to go. And, me freaking out is not going to change the outcome of what's going to happen. Right. So, and I was kind of just playing it by ear of what Jason wanted to do. He seemed like he was just wickedly focused and calm and quiet. So I just gave him answers. And, every now and then it was like, oh, that guy is, go and make some offhand comment of something, kind of chatty and try and be relaxing. But he never seemed to take that. So I just was like, cool. It's just pure directions and nothing else.
All business.
It was unusual.
All business, really?
Unusual. Yeah.
I expected some funny banter between you guys.
No, the banter. You know what the banter we had is? So there's a new part of the race course this year where we had to go through the military base.
Okay.
Right. So you make a right-hand turn, and it is a strict 30 miles an hour.
Okay.
And so, you can't go and your beacon sitting there fucking yelling at you if you go 31. So it's you have to do that and do 30 miles an hour. And so I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, cool, 30 miles an hour. And I'm watching my thing, and I'm watching the transponder. I'm like, all right, 30. And I was like, Toby's like, what? And I'm like, I'm peeing.
I'm peeing. Condom catheter's working.
Condom catheter is working.
Yeah.
And so that was like the best part of the whole race that I remembered because I was like, all right, fine. Because do you have any idea how hard it is to pee at 60 miles an hour?
At speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're
I
just
don't
like,
know.
your kidneys
I
are
haven't
just
done
going
it.
up and down.
I haven't done it.
That was the best thing.
another
was,
reason why I don't
Jason's
race.
a good driver. I'm going, cool, I can trust Jason because I have to piss so fucking badly. I could barely navigate for the first 2/3 of lap 1.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we came into main pit. So hit RP1 twice, right?
Okay.
So first RP1, we blew through. We didn't even stop. And we're like, we're not stopping. We're stopping. We came into RP1 again. They did full bolt check on everything. And like nothing happened
Looked
to the
good.
rig. Like we full desert lap, no problem. And threw us some gate or whatever. And then we went back to main pit. And at this point, I had to pee like a Russian racehorse. And so go in there, and they're doing us full, fueling us and whatnot. And I'm sitting there, and my friend Mike
Oh boy.
is sitting there, and he was like, whoa, something's leaking.
You're on the
Looks
tarp.
under the car. Is like, are you leaking coolant? I'm like, no, dude.
No, it's me.
I'm peeing.
It's me leaking. You pissed on the tarp.
Oh, yeah.
Well, at least they weren't under there changing a driveline or anything.
bullshit.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean,
You can't piss at speed, is what you're saying.
it's really difficult.
Yeah.
When
I haven't
you
tried
gotta
it.
go
I
when you
don't
gotta
know.
go, man.
All right, here's the deal. Here's the best test I'll tell you.
Okay.
Go out, start hopping on a pogo stick, and try to pee. That's
I can guarantee you that ain't gonna happen.
I can guarantee you it won't. We'll come into Cougar Buttes, and I slow down. I'm like, okay, it's happening.
Oh yeah, it's happening. It's happening.
Yay!
And then you're just hoping that it's going down the catheter and out your pee tube
You know,
to the
at some
floor
point, you
because
just don't even give a
sometimes it
shit.
comes undone. And
Yeah, it is what it
Yeah.
I've
is.
heard like Light Bright. Kevin pissed his pants because the condom catheter came undone.
We've
You
lost all
know,
of our
I'd
Yeah.
rather piss my pants than lose a race. I'll
Yeah.
just put it
Well,
that
there
way.
you go. There you go. There's priorities right there. Hashtag priorities.
Just remember, if you podium, you're going to be standing there with a wet spot.
I'll sit there and point at it like, look,
Look,
do you see
I won
this?
this. This is me.
Just
Yeah,
saying.
it's so funny. It is. It's I know. I remember one of my first years at Amherst, and you see people lining up to get on the start line, and they're leaking fluid, and it was piss.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you know.
Well,
There it
everybody's
is.
got to
Pissing's
pee.
racing.
Everybody's got to pee.
Everybody's, yeah.
I will say the Bomber Fab Randy, a couple of Imodium that morning and 4 ibuprofen.
Did you do that?
Oh, damn right
you
I did.
That's a great race tip
So
right there. I
here's the
mean, you
deal,
don't
like,
think about
I did
that.
not think about it at all, and I was
No.
listening beforehand.
Oh,
It's like
so
couple
from
Imodium.
our podcast?
Yes, from yours.
So we helped you.
You
we
helped
helped
me.
you.
Yeah.
The Wheeling Wine and Whiskey podcast imparted some great Ultra 4
Randy
KOH.
Sauce and that.
from-
Hey, so here's the
from
funny
the
part.
three-time
Three-time
king.
king. That's right.
Take some Imodium.
I was talking to Toby about this, and I was like, "Hey, do you know what Imodium is?" He's like, "Dude, bro, I'm not old like you. I don't take pills." And I was like, "Imodium. It's like, you know, when you
Yeah,
got the
it's
shit
just
that keeps you from
kinda
pooping."
clog
He
you
was
up.
like, "Oh, that makes sense." So I gave him 2 in, and
Oh, he did it too, huh?
I didn't shit.
Toby?
For, I didn't shit for 2 days.
I just say I didn't want to shit myself, so I'm in.
Nobody wants to shit themselves.
No, you don't. No.
So yes, because of your podcast, with
Hey,
Randy,
that's awesome.
I was like, and it's genius, you know.
It is.
In hindsight, I would not have taken 2.
So next year
I
you're
would
going
have
to
just
take
done one.
one.
I would have been fine. I didn't shit for 2 days. And when I did, 3 days later, whew,
I got some stool softeners if you need them from my
All
last
right, so
surgery
the
here.
body function podcast. We've lost all of our listeners now. So,
hey man, it
It's
works.
life.
Holy smokes.
Hashtag.
It worked.
hey
Okay, there you
guys,
go.
awesome! We're proud of you guys. I mean, that's badass. Going out there, buying a car, 4 months later, taking it out to lake bed and just tearing it up, breaking the shit, but driving it back to camp.
Well,
Under its own power.
3
Awesome.
axles?
3 axle shaft.
3 out of
3
4.
axles, 2 tires, 1 wheel.
Ooh,
Damn.
a wheel.
Hey, in hindsight, I mean, we didn't shear any bolts.
No,
Like, nothing
no.
stupid
And
really happened.
mechanically, it was
But
fine.
you cracked a shitload of bolts, apparently.
No, not the bolts, just the bulkhead.
Oh, the
and I'm
bulkhead.
fixing that, by the way.
Gotcha. Right on.
But in the reality, like everything that when Toby flew up over New Year's, like
Yeah.
literally New Year's Eve, we were in the garage for 3 days.
Hashtag
so
race car.
Everything that we prepped, like hard, and you know, as Kevin Jones prepped.
Yeah.
Everything that we prepped,
Hashtag KOH prep.
none of that shit had a problem.
Yeah.
Not one bit of it.
So what was your thought process or I guess reliability in the car when you're pulling up to start line after a week worth of just fighting shit and driving to Mexico down here to pick up a front diff and
You boys like Mexico?
so good. So I mean, it's gotta fuck with your mind a little bit. And
dude,
like you were like, what is this thing gonna hold together in the first 10 miles or what's going on?
And this is like, it's high stress and 4 months. And
Yeah.
it's not on a time.
Because you got a lot of money, you got a lot of time, you got people involved, you got some major shit going down up to that start line.
Literally, it wasn't the day before the race. It was 2 days before the race. I literally felt defeated, and the race hadn't even started yet. And there was part of me that was like, fuck this. And there was part of me was like, no, we're going
to keep pushing forward.
This. I'm driving to Mexico. And
You boys like Mexico?
I'm driving to Mexico. I'm getting new front diff. I don't care what it costs.
Right.
Brought it back, put it in. I'm like, let's go burn the gears in. And we had one solid pre-run session. And I was like, okay, I'm as ready as I'm going to be.
Yeah.
And Toby's like, typical bro, eat that skeet.
Yeah.
Or whatever he says.
So I was just going to say, I rode this roller coaster with you because, I had my camp set up and my plethora of bourbon sitting in the camper. And it was just like, you'd come up to me and you're like, okay, let's go in your camper. And I knew exactly what that
I was
meant.
pissed, dude.
That was
I was
it.
pissed.
And then, you would come into my camper defeated, like, let's go into your camper and we'd have a shot of bourbon. And then you'd come into my camper like you just fucking got some shit going. Oh, the car's running great. Okay, let's go into your camper and celebrate. And it was these highs and lows and this whole fucking roller coaster ride leading up to the main race day. And I just live vicariously through you.
Well, there's also the classic line where he'd walk up to and say, "Dude, you guys have any bourbon?"
Yeah, do you have any bourbon?
well, you heard
Do you
me.
have any
Yeah.
bourbon?
Hey,
There's a beer shit in the woods.
what did I bring you?
You want to see my bourbon?
You want to see my...
Inside joke for people that were at KOH.
Nice.
Anyway, it was crazy, and I'm just sitting there going, "Oh my god, you were one of many racers that we were following that were going through similar, obstacles, hurdles, and it's that fight. It's that fight to get to the start line and just frickin' race. Just give me the opportunity to frickin' race.
That's all I wanted.
I wanna see the
Like,
start
give me the,
line.
give me the
give me
start
the
line to
fucking green
race.
flag. I'll figure the rest out after that.
That's right. That's right. Well, super cool. Awesome. Very cool.
It's so cool.
And then
you
Toby
got-
was just sitting there like, cool.
Cool.
In the most nonchalant, monotone voice.
So we know you're doing 2 more races for sure this year, possibly 3.
Yeah.
We're doing 2 more Ultra 4 races.
Okay, 2 more Ultra 4 races.
Okay, possibly. And then there's a third that you're not gonna
Moab and
disclose.
Prairie.
We're doing Prairie
Moab.
City and
Yeah.
Moab.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Yep.
All right.
And there's
A fourth hanging out there. Okay.
What's
All right.
your car number so people, the listeners, can try?
813.
813. Right on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Universal
Yeah.
813, J Barry 813.
And you can read it when it's on its side, too.
And you, that's the best part.
And all of our signatures are on the roof.
Hey, so there was
That's
one
right.
point we were going through, I call it revision because Dave Cole threw an audible. It's actually, what is the one right before we
Resolution?
Resolution. I called it revision.
Revision. I'm doing a revision.
We're doing revision. We came down through revision, resolution, and we're within where the drones are because it's right there by start finish.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, there's like 3 fucking mosquitoes driving around us.
Drones, yeah.
And so I'm like, what the hell? And so, I'm distracted. And so I hit this big freaking rock and just lays the car over on its side.
No.
On a rock that's 3 times the size of the Can-Am. So we're on 2 wheels, and Toby's like, eat that skeet.
Yeet, that's
I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, hit the damn gas.
Yeah,
I'm like,
go.
all right, we just drove off of it.
And he just-
Like, if that rock wasn't there, we would have rolled over. And
Yeah.
I was like, all right,
Yeah. That's cool.
Just send it. Just send it.
it was fun. It was dumb. It was dumb.
So Toby, you still there?
Yes, sir.
Do you know his
Okay.
name?
Yeah, I know his name, Toby.
It's Toby.
We've talked about Toby a lot on this podcast.
We have.
didn't know it was Toby until
I'm
we knew
pretty
it was
sure you
Toby.
said Toby's name
But we
more
said
than
Toby.
mine.
I think Toby has been the most numbered mentioned name on this podcast.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know if I go that far, but
Oh, okay.
Toby,
Maybe.
Toby.
maybe the most mentioned unidentified person.
Yes.
Right.
So, are you game on for the rest of this year? And what are your thoughts as co-dog?
I'm going to try to be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, me and Jason usually talk, once a week at least.
At least.
We're all up to speed with how each other's schedules should be panning out. Obviously,
Right.
we'll see how, work works out. Me and Jason kind of both travel a lot for our own jobs.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, we have real jobs.
yeah.
Real jobs.
Well, take a
But yeah,
take a
I should
page
be able
out of
to make
Jason
everything he
Green's
does.
book over here and don't work.
Yeah,
just
get surgery and just don't work.
Yeah, just have
that'd be great.
just have
Almost
some
die.
hobo
But
slice
did
your
you
throat
die?
open.
You didn't
No,
die.
you didn't die.
No.
But no, that's cool. And
It's grassroots shit.
It is grassroots, and that's what's cool. And that was the point I was trying to make. It's trying to, and then with schedules, there was a preliminary U4 Ultra 4 race schedule out there that you were basing your rest of the racing season off of, and then shit hit the fan. Oh, I'm selling.
that go?
I'm selling.
What revision are we on now?
I'm
What
selling.
revision?
I'm
5?
selling this off, and whatever. And maybe at the end of the day, we're all going to say, you know what, this is the best thing that ever fucking happened. But whatever, it changed up a lot of shit. There's a lot of racers that are scrambling to make stuff happen.
Right.
Fuel prices are up. I mean, it's just life. Trying to make, nobody's making money. You don't do this to make money. You do it
No.
for the passion and the love. And let's go out and race and see what we can do amongst our federal.
Use your words.
I am. Can I buy a vowel?
Jesus.
It's pronounced Jason.
It's amongst our peers to race, and it's super cool. I can feel the passion. I love it. I'm glad I'm on the sidelines looking in.
Well, we're doing
Financially,
we're doing
I'm doing a lot
part.
better that way.
We're doing our part.
Yeah, no, and it's to tell the story, and
Absolutely.
and it's fun. It's fun.
Absolutely.
I just more power to you guys, even in a golf cart.
So from Wheeling Wine and Whiskey, we want to wish you the best of luck for the upcoming race in Moab.
Thank you.
We'll be cheering
Yeah.
you from behind our computers, in front of our computer screens. Are they streaming that? Are they going to stream? They
I
better.
don't know what's
have
happening.
no
What about
idea.
the U4? Oh my god, that's a whole other topic.
That's a whole. We're not going to branch
the
off.
whole
Of that
U-
nightmare.
the whole U4 live streaming premium.
Right.
You're not
So,
going to see that. I don't know.
It's a good thing people paid for that,
Mid
right?
America. Oh boy, here we go.
Jason,
Here we go.
how do people follow you and
I don't
Toby?
know. It's
Instagram for me is jberry813.
yeah.
Toby, he's Snivelous.
Yeah, Snivelous. How'd you
What's
get
the story
that?
behind that, Toby?
Yeah, let's go, Toby.
I had a German Shepherd in college, and it was her nickname.
Oh,
So there is utterly zero basis for that besides my
Snivelous.
child mind somehow coming up with that.
Right on.
And it's now my username for everything. So
Right on,
Toby's
right
like
on.
half my age. It's-
Is he really?
yeah, almost literally.
yeah.
He's super young.
No.
You could probably. He's probably.
That's why he gets out of the car and winches, and
Okay, that's
I run the buttons.
See, that's what I would have.
He's
I'd
old
have
enough to
somebody
be
half
my
my
kid.
age running.
I'm old enough to be
Well,
his
you know,
dad.
It worked out because that whole thing of me saying, Jason, don't kill me. Jason's had some injuries before.
Yeah,
So I
a
was going,
couple.
Jason's not going to hurt himself bad enough where
Right.
I'll actually get hurt.
That's true. He's been there, done that.
Yeah,
He doesn't want to do it
young,
again.
He'll just bounce off the mountain.
That's
no
a
big
good.
deal.
That's a good analogy. You're
Yeah.
right.
I was going, Jason's body will fail before mine because he's 15 years older. So, so he's not pushing it
Hey,
that
Toby,
hard.
fuck you.
Age before beauty.
Oh, that's so true. That's
Jesus,
great.
wow.
I love it.
His
I love
body
the-
will fail before mine.
Fail.
I love the-
Fail. He
battle
said
of the
fail.
ages. Battle of the ages.
F-A-I-L.
All right, challenge
Fail.
accepted, Toby.
Wow. Okay, well, there you go. That's, hashtag facts. I don't know what to say there.
Well, let's do this. Let's thank you guys for taking time out of your schedules to join us tonight. And,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything?
Anything, any sponsors you want to thank other than RCV? They just freaking, and
That's
Waylon?
the latest one. So
I know.
obviously Waylon is my title
Yeah.
sponsor. Like they came through very, very thick, and being part of Whelen Motorsports has been
Amazing.
eye-opening.
Yeah.
So like it gives me perks and other things with NASCAR and IMSA and other cars.
Yeah,
that I
right.
race. I've met other race car drivers, so that's been great. Obviously Warren and Factor 55, they were like the first two that I got.
That's super cool.
Factory UTV, they came through
okay.
and helped me out with the skid plates and the sliders for it. And then Vital Signs came through. Like this was random. Like it's just some random Carson City place that does signs and wraps. And I showed up one day, and the chick that owns a place, she liked my vanity plate on my truck that said "LOL Jeep."
Wow.
She goes, "We're going to sponsor you."
Yeah, no, that's more or less what happened.
Yeah.
And then Tatum, I can't say enough good things about Tatum UTV.
Okay.
So I was working with Tatum, and I just needed new spindles, the rear spindles, because I had wallowed out a couple of them.
Yeah.
Prior to race day, and like 2 weeks before race day, I was like, "Well, shit, what am I gonna do?" And she had them in stock, and they were there in 3 days.
Wow.
And a swag pack and everything. So Tatum's been absolutely awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, their shirts are really good too.
Their shirts are great. I'm actually
You're wearing one.
I'm
I saw
actually
that.
wearing one,
I saw
and I
that.
have the hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, their swag is
Okay.
for people that are extra mediums. Mediums.
Medium. Medium.
But no, Tatum's been great. I'm getting a set of the front spindles too.
Okay.
The RCVs up front.
Sweet.
And yeah.
I mean, yeah.
For first.
Yeah, from where you started from nothing, but to your
6 months ago.
but to your credit,
Four.
No, it's been
yeah.
6 months today.
It's been 6 months today.
Plus or minus,
Yeah,
yeah.
6 months today, but 4 months
Wow.
from buying the car and to racing.
but to your credit, I mean, you're like realist, and you're like, hey, this is what I got. You want to sponsor me? Great, but I'm gonna rep your product to the best I can, and I mean, you've in a short amount of time, you've acquired some pretty freaking stellar.
I will, and he's probably going to get a big head of this. I will give another little shout out to Kevin Jones.
Oh no!
I know.
No.
You know,
He doesn't even
mention
race
it.
anymore.
Ex racer.
Yeah, ex-racer Kevin Jones. He
And
doesn't
how
even
many
race
times has
anymore.
his name been mentioned in this
I don't know.
episode?
I
don't know.
him and I talk or whatever, and I called him one day, and we were bullshitting.
I'm
And I was like,
gonna
hey,
bleep his
like,
name out.
Edit that out.
Can you just give me? I'm like, I don't need all your details, but like, how did you do what you did in such a short amount of time?
Yeah.
And he just laid it all out for me, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, I can do that.
I can do that.
Yeah, exactly.
And
It's-
the Kevin Jones mentality to partnerships
Yeah.
has served me very, very well.
And I think that's a huge part of it is the partnership, right? It's like,
It
hey,
is.
you're
It's
not
not a
you're not
sponsorship, it's a
yeah,
partnership.
You're not like, hey, I want free,
Give me
shit,
free shit.
and f you, we're moving on. No, it's like, hey, let's make a win-win situation out of this. I want to rep your product. I want to use your product. I will support your product. Blah blah blah.
And you saw this firsthand.
yeah.
You saw this firsthand
Yep.
with Factor 55
Yep,
and Justin.
exactly.
You were there.
Exactly.
When I was just like,
That was
come
super
by,
cool.
and I was like, hey, Justin, what's going on? And we were bullshitting a little bit.
Just
And he
start
was
rapping.
like, hold on, I got something.
I
for
got
you.
something for you. Yeah, that is super cool. And I need to take some pages out of your
Right.
notebook there because I need a hammer loop on the front of my buggy.
All right. Well, I took notes. I still have the video if you want to see that.
I got the video too.
All right, cool.
Jesus Christ.
Anyways, it's so cool.
All right, cool.
And there it is. Golf carts are alive and well. And as much as it pains me, the future they're going to be around for a long time in Ultra 4 racing.
Oh, you heard Dave
Listeners,
Cole in
take
the
note. Listeners, go ahead.
You heard Dave Cole in the drivers meeting, right?
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
where 4,400 drivers were bitching about the
Yeah.
golf carts.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, build a better race car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And, they're stepping up too on
two-
that side. So
did two of them finish in the top 10? I know at least one.
Yeah, one got 7th and one
Yeah.
I think got 9th.
I was going to say, I think
it was
two,
7th and 9th.
Oh,
two
those
golf
were
carts finished in the
unlimited
top
golf
10
carts.
in
unlimited.
44.
But,
Yeah,
yeah.
but two
It's
of
the
them
same
finished.
freaking car. All they did was put door bars in to make
Yeah.
it
No, I
4,400
understand,
rolls.
but
It's
just-
insane.
those cars. I mean, they're legit, dude.
testament.
I mean,
I mean, we watched them going up Chocolate Thunder that day, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, holy smokes.
So, listeners, take note. This is the one and only time you'll hear us talk
That's
about
right.
golf
This
carts.
is the last golf cart podcast. So
Until the next time.
you want to listen to more golf cart podcasts, you can listen to the Pit Guys, Zach and Hopper.
Zach and Hopper.
They're all
that's right.
golf cart podcasts. We're going to give them a shout out.
Again, thank you, Jason and Toby, for joining us this evening.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
And
It's a good filler.
Oh God, I hate you guys. I don't even know why we're friends.
So, if you want to, so we're going to wrap this up here pretty quick. But if you want to follow, if you like the show, definitely follow us. Mention it to your friends. Spread the word. So tell all your friends about our show, so we can expand our listener base, because we do enjoy that. If you really like the show and you want to throw a little bit of dollars at us, go to our Patreon, www.patreon.com/wheelingwinewhiskey. You can also follow Jason or email Jason or Chris at wheelingwineandwhiskey.com. Don't forget about the Instagram, where you communicate directly with Jason. That's Wheeling Wine and Whiskey. And last but not least, don't forget about our phone number.
Oh, what is that, Chris?
408-800-5169.
Yeah. We need
408-800-5169.
We
I
are
feel like I should call back into that again.
you should, and Christopher Walken should.
Oh, yeah.
I have a direct line.
I know. I do too, and I haven't heard from him in a while. And I know he listens to the podcast, and I would love to.
He's been disposed.
He has been disposed.
He's
and I
been
get
down
it.
by the river in a
Yeah,
van.
he really has, and he needs to go up to a payphone and drop a quarter.
Granted,
in
that
and-
river's a mile down.
Yeah.
But
No, it's a big river.
Anyways, that'd be good to
I'll
hear
make a
from
phone call just
Yeah,
for you.
is,
please
all
do, because he is long overdue to
I mean,
call
Arnold
in.
might show up. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you don't know.
I don't know.
It could be Arnold. It could.
Christopher
Christopher
Walken.
It
Walken.
could be what was
Farley.
Could be
well,
Chris Farley.
That was the best.
By the river.
All right. I don't know. Is there
Toby,
anything else?
you got any last words?
Hey, they remember your name, Toby.
Toby.
I know. That was
Toby,
truly a miracle.
fucking
I would
amazing.
say one
Toby.
thing, shout out to all the people that came and helped us.
Yes.
That had no obligation to and didn't get any swag or money or
Nothing.
food or anything. There is Jason, Kristen, my friend Miles from Utah, that dude with the van, the guy who that gave us the little laser
Wait, back up.
Ben?
That dude with the van. That's awesome.
Talking about Ben?
You're talking about Ben.
Yeah,
Ben has
The
sick
Ben
bikes,
bus.
shout out
It's
to
not
him.
Yeah.
the Bang bus. It's the Ben bus.
Ben bus.
So all the other people whose names I have no idea what
I'm
they
just
are.
saying, dude.
because
We
I never met
had
them.
That
most.
dude in the van.
We had the most degenerate group of.
Oh,
I mean,
dude.
it's just like
It was like a
but it's
revolving
good.
door.
It was
really was.
It was an eclectic group of
Yeah.
like my friends, Toby's friends, Amber's
Yeah,
friends,
yeah.
and just random people are like, "Hey, you can
We'll help you out.
fucking
We're
pit
rich.
for you,
Yeah,
why
fuck
not?"
yeah.
And I was like, "Cool." And like when we were going through Remote Pit 2 and they were changing my axles out, like I ended up getting interviewed by I don't remember her name. It wasn't
Pam Hall.
It wasn't Pam.
Oh.
Somebody else. I ended up getting interviewed in Remote Pit 2, and they're like, "You got time to chat?" And I look back at my car. It's on two wheels and
Yeah.
no
I
axles.
got
And
all
I'm like,
kinds of
"Yeah,
time, yeah.
I got a minute."
or 20.
And they looked like PR professionals.
Yeah.
Like literally, I was just like,
Unlike
they're-
us.
I didn't say that. Unless, I mean, we're talking guys with full on, race suits, of
Right.
aprons, dumping gas in, and like we looked like we knew what the fuck we were doing.
That's nice.
And
And most of these guys never even wrenched on a side by side.
First
let
of
alone
all,
been in one.
most of them never even seen a side by side in their life. Okay, like considering Tyler was sitting there, he's like, "This is just like a Toyota. This is fucking neat. Why is this a 16? Well,
Yeah.
it's a Can-Am.
Yeah.
It's one less than a
Yeah.
Toyota.
Yeah. One less.
It's a 16 millimeter instead of a 17. Sorry.
Or a 10, but yeah, whatever.
No, the 10s are still solid. I lost all those in the desert.
You got anything else, Jason?
Which Jason?
Which one?
The one down
the elder?
To me?
Yeah, you.
I don't. I this is good. I was a little apprehensive going into this podcast, the golf cart podcast, but
Expectations met?
yeah, no, I don't know
Not
about
really.
that, but
So close.
it was close. It was close. It kept my interest, and no, I all kidding aside, it is the future. It is super affordable way to get into racing, and for you to go from 0 to I wouldn't say hero,
87.
but
Definitely not hero.
but to race, I mean, that what you guys accomplished in that short amount of time to race one of the world's toughest one-day off-road races. Hats off to you. Great freaking job. Super cool. It's fun. I love the camaraderie. I'm going to continue joking about golf carts regardless about this podcast, but we had to give you your voice, and it's great.
15 minutes of fame, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well, I will say I appreciate the hell out of it.
Yeah.
I know Toby does. We appreciate everything that you guys have done and helped us.
Very much.
It's
And all the food.
And
Appreciate
yeah.
that a lot, too.
The food was definitely the highlight
I guess
for me.
there's some people that still owe some money to Jason. Too.
yeah.
I just say all
It
your,
wasn't
all your
me. I paid.
logistics, Jason. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, that's what I love about Jason. He is so.
it was
I don't want to say
amazing.
OCD.
No, I'm
what's
not
beyond
OCD?
OCD?
No, I don't know what's beyond OCD.
He's just like so. It's just targeted. It's very, very like here's my plan, and I'm a plan based person.
He'd be a good pit crew boss.
Yes.
Yes,
I
he
would be a logistics guy. I am, and my whole deal I've succumbed to because I never want to race. I just don't want to go through all that stuff. But if I can provide a great camp with some good chow and a lot of camaraderie, that's what I'm all about, and that's what we had this year.
What do you
We
guys
had a
need? A light and bourbon.
Yeah,
All right, done.
exactly. We had a great camp this year and a lot of fun, and that I went to bed happy every night. It was super cool, and just a small part of the operation. So, anyways, it's all good. I love it for the sport of off roading, and keep on golf karting, guys.
Gentlemen, and I use this term loosely.
Gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Chris, I don't know. I don't have anything else.
I guess on that note, we're out.